Let's get started with our first news. Alexander Volkanovski gives an update on what's next for him. Alright, what's next for me, he begins. So nothing's too clear right now, there's a lot of moving parts. Volkanovski explained that before his last fight, he was pretty confident that Movsar would be his next opponent. But things have changed since then. I was thinking, oh yeah, it's going to be Movsar, but now I think he's already lined up for another fight. I've been hearing his name getting mentioned quite a bit, so that might not be happening after all. He went on to say that the month of September was being thrown around as a possible return date, but that timeline might not work out either. The date of September has come up, but honestly, that's probably not the best time for me. I'm having a baby that month, Volkanovski shared with a big smile on his face. So if we could work around that, it would definitely be better for me and my family. Clearly, personal priorities are front and center for the former featherweight champion. He added that there are ongoing discussions planned with the boss, Dana White and Hunter Campbell, and that they're trying to figure out the best possible path forward. We're planning to sit down and have a proper chat with Dana and Hunter very soon, he revealed. There's a lot happening, so we'll just have to wait and see what makes the most sense. With Volkanovski's star power and competitive drive, fans can be sure that when he does return, it'll be in a big way. For now though, his focus is split between fatherhood and fighting, and only time will tell how it all plays out. Moving on to the next big headline, Daniel Cormier goes off on Jon Jones. Yesterday, Jon posted on X about DC and Chael Sonnen. He said, "Jon Jones whooped both of y'all, but hey, why not team up on a podcast and gossip about his life? Meanwhile, he's out here making your annual salary in a week. Stay busy, boys." On his YouTube channel, DC denied that Jon makes his yearly salary in a week. DC also said if he were still the UFC heavyweight champion, he would have absolutely defended the title against Tom Aspinall. Unlike Jon, it seems like Jon Jones does not like being talked about by two of the biggest voices in this game, said DC. "I'm going to pull the curtain back for you guys. I know what Jon made in Thailand. I was offered to coach that show with Jon Jones. Jon's resume is impeccable. His star power, his ability to sell matches up with anybody in the business. But guess what? Daniel Cormier's resume matches up with anybody in this game too. Daniel Cormier brings eyes. People in the business, they know. I've got me talking in third person." He continued, "Jon Jones doesn't make more money than me in a week. Jon makes more when he fights, sure. But we over here eating. The biggest paydays he ever had were tied directly to me. We did it together. And I'll be honest with you, I'm talking about you, I'm getting paid to talk about you, but I don't fight anymore. All I can really do now is talk. That's what I do. You fight, or at least you're supposed to. You're talking about me, you're talking about Francis, you're talking about Chael, and you're almost ignoring the right thing you could be doing. Stick it to everybody like you've done on so many occasions and tell them about it. And I can tell you guys, on good authority, and if I was still fighting today, and I was still the heavyweight champion, and Tom Aspinall was the #1 contender, I would have already fought him 1000%. Knowing how dangerous it would be would have done nothing but excite me. This dude Jon Jones is still talking." Moving on, Daniel Cormier and Ben Askren's wife have officially shut down a shocking and emotional rumor that spread like wildfire during UFC 316. The chaos began when some deeply concerning news came from Ben's wife, Amy Askren, who revealed that Ben was battling severe pneumonia symptoms and was not responding well to treatment in the hospital. The update immediately raised alarms across the MMA community, with fans fearing for Ben's life. To address the growing concern, Daniel Cormier posted an update on his YouTube channel. He explained that Ben had faced a very difficult situation while attending a convention in Las Vegas, where his health took a serious downturn. He had a really tough time when he went to that convention in Vegas, said DC. He was stuck there for a while, but now he's home with his beautiful wife, Amy. At first, this comment brought a wave of relief to fans and fellow fighters. However, the confusion was just beginning. Shortly afterward, UFC fighter Kyle Baraglio tweeted something that sent shockwaves through the MMA world. "RIP Ben Askren, prayers for the family right now." The post caused immediate panic, with many assuming that Ben had tragically passed away. The rumor spread like wildfire across social media, with tributes and condolences pouring in. But the very next morning, Cormier jumped in to clarify everything. "He's back in Wisconsin in a hospital. He isn't home. Please keep praying for Ben. I should have been more clear," he said, correcting his earlier statement. Amy Askren then addressed the public directly in an interview with TMZ Sports, stating firmly, Ben Askren is definitely still fighting for his life. He's alive. Any rumor that he has passed is completely false. Finally, Kyle Barallo issued a heartfelt apology. Guys, I made a mistake. I saw black and white photos posted by Macy Barber and thought the worst. I hope I'm wrong. He added, it was an honest mistake. Thanks to God I was wrong. I truly apologize to Ben and his family. Thankfully, Ben is still with us, and the entire MMA world continues to pray for his full recovery. Moving on, Javier Mendez has just dropped a major update on Umar Nurmagomedov's recovery and return to action. After his tough loss to Merab at UFC 311, Umar was handed a 6-month medical suspension due to a hand injury. The news left fans concerned about how long the rising bantamweight contender would be out of commission. But finally, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. Speaking on the Javier and Mo show, Javier gave some reassuring insight into Umar's condition. As far as I know, he's doing well. He's using his hand, he said. I don't really know to what extent. I'm not in camp. I'll be with him in a few months. Is he healed yet? I believe he's almost completely healed. Not 100% sure though, but you can expect him to fight before the end of the year, for sure. Unless something unexpected happens injury-wise, we should be good. This is fantastic news for fans of the undefeated prospect. Even more encouraging, new footage recently emerged showing Umar grappling at full intensity, a promising sign that his hand is nearly back to full strength and that he's ramping up his training. The energy surrounding his return is picking up, and many are eager to see how he performs after his first professional loss. Currently, Umar holds the number 2 spot in the UFC bantamweight rankings, just behind champion Sean O'Malley and ahead of former champ Peter Yan. With O'Malley recovering from a loss and Yan preparing for a bout with Marcus McGee, Umar's next matchup might come against a top 5 or top 10 contender. Potential names being discussed include Song Yadong and Deiveson Figueiredo, both of whom would present interesting stylistic challenges. No matter who he faces, Umar's return could shake up the division. If he looks as sharp as he did before the injury, we could be seeing him challenge for the title very soon. All eyes are on his comeback, and expectations are high. Next, Kamaru Usman admits he's nervous to fight Joaquin Buckley. He believes that if he finishes Buckley this weekend, he could fight the winner of the upcoming welterweight title fight between Jack Della Maddalena and Islam Makhachev. Usman also admits he's a little scared heading into the fight. Obviously a flawless finish. I've been in a situation like that before. I've trained with my team and my coaches, trying to produce one of those knockouts that they love to replay again and again. With a finish over Buckley, of course, I'll be waiting for the winner of that fight between JDM and Islam. That's a fantastic matchup. Both are really talented, and a fight with either would be great. Usman added, a fight between me and JDM, that's a humongous fight. I know they probably want to do a stadium show in Australia again. I haven't fought in a stadium yet. Why not now? And a fight with the current pound for pound versus the former pound for pound, that's a blockbuster. He said, I'm in a place in my career and in my life where I understand that every moment, no matter how difficult or how good, is an opportunity. Once it's gone, it's gone. So I approach it differently now. Even going into the fight on Saturday, I'm nervous, I'm a little scared, I'm excited. All of these things wrapped into one, but at the end of the day, it's a blessing. Usman also expressed interest in fighting Islam Andreas du Plessis. Speaking to media, he said, I'll lay out the map, finish Buckley this weekend, then wait for the winner of Islam versus JDM. I love Islam. He's a great fighter. That would be something both of us would remember forever. After that, I could go up and fight Dryas if he's the champion, or Hamzat Chimaev if Dryas is. We could do that in the first card in Africa. Then after that, now you're sitting with 2 belts. What do we... Moving forward, Aljamain Sterling shared an interesting and slightly awkward encounter he had with Team Kabib ahead of Merab Dvalishvili's fight with Umar Nurmagomedov. On a recent episode of his podcast, Sterling opened up about a tense and revealing moment that happened during fight week in Abu Dhabi. Funny story, Sterling began. We were in a car in Abu Dhabi, me, Umar, and his brother. We were all just talking, and Umar said he wanted the fight. He asked me, how's he gonna beat me? And I told him straight up, brother, he doesn't get tired. He's gonna shoot 100 times. According to Sterling, that was the moment things got a little tense. Then his brother responded like, well, he'll defend 100 times. I think they were confident, but maybe they didn't fully understand what it's like to be in there with Merab. Sterling went on to say that although he tried to explain Merab's relentless pressure and cardio, it seemed like Umar's team didn't quite believe the intensity until they experienced it firsthand. I don't think they really understood until they were actually in there. Then we saw the fight. I tried to tell you, brother, he said, chuckling. The story highlights not just Sterling's insight as Merab's teammate, but also the sometimes underestimated style that Merab brings to the cage. His pace, pressure, and never-ending takedown attempts are difficult to grasp until you're on the receiving end. That moment of humility from Team Kabib, while subtle, reflects how even elite camps can sometimes miscalculate the level of an opponent's weaponry. Sterling's tale adds a humorous but telling angle to one of the most talked about bantamweight matchups of the year. And finally, Jon Jones appears to be spiraling once again as he gears up for what could be his second heavyweight title defense, likely against rising contender Tom Aspinall. While many fans believe Jon had finally turned a corner in his personal life, this latest story paints a troubling picture that feels all too familiar. Throughout his storied career, Jon has become just as known for his out-of-cage controversies as his dominance inside the octagon. From failed drug tests to hit-and-run incidents, his past has been filled with incidents involving alcohol, partying, and erratic behavior. And despite recent efforts to portray a more disciplined and mature version of himself, it looks like old habits might be resurfacing. According to his former training partner Ram Kabalov, the UFC champ recently stormed into a gym completely unannounced, clearly acting out of control. He walked in out of nowhere and just started dancing the Lezginka, said Kabalov, referring to the traditional Dagestani dance. He was shouting, "I'm a Dagestani gangster." Kabalov claims Jon appeared to be clearly intoxicated at the time, but it didn't stop there. Things took a disturbing turn when Jon reportedly pulled out a firearm inside the gym, waving it around recklessly as if it were a toy. Kabalov says Jon then dragged him outside to his car and popped open the trunk, revealing a full arsenal of guns, scopes, and tactical equipment. He told me, "Hey, I'm a gangster. You know in the US like it's legal to carry these," said Kabalov. I think he was a bit tipsy. Then he asked me to go shooting with him. The trunk was packed. So once again, the legendary fighter finds himself surrounded by chaos. With a major title fight on the horizon, fans and critics alike are asking, will Jon Jones ever escape the shadow of his own self-destruction?